1960s to the early 1990s, the United States saw an unprecedented surge in serial killing, rooted not just in dynamic changes of the post-war period, but in the development of the human psyche going back many millennia to our ancient past. Wonder why serial killers exist, why they emerged, and why they exploded in the post-war United States? Check out The Golden Age of Murder, a panoramic look at serial killing focusing on the United States in the post-war period. A podcast that goes beyond serial killer profiles to dig into why serial killers exist and to find out why the 1960s to 1990s is the apogee of serial murder. This is the golden age of serial murder with your hosts, Toby and Simeon.
Welcome to Opinion Havers, a movie podcast for fans of the blue filter. I'm Tyler.
And I'm Cody.
There you go. You're Cody. I'm Tyler. That's how we do it. I say I'm Tyler. You say you're Cody. Cody, what did we watch?
I really have to think hard about it. It's Priest. You watched Priest.
Priest. That is correct. A movie that heavily features a blue filter over most of the scenes. You notice that? All the nighttime stuff.
I didn't even think about it, so you brought it up.
Blue.
No, you're right.
Let me tell you, Cody, you watched this, and I was like skipping through stuff where it shows like all the scenes. If you just want to see what I'm talking about, just fast forward through the movie where it shows you all the scenes down at the bottom. It's just a sea of blue. Well, that's what it is.
All the night scenes are, and the tunnel definitely is. Yeah.
It's very blue. And that's what we like about it, Cody.
Like that song.
That's what makes
Remember
it.
That song by Eiffel 65?
Cody, don't even.
Hit dance track of the late 90s and early aughts.
It's still a hit track, Cody. Don't you slander Eiffel 65.
I watched like a 30-minute story about how they came up with the track. I was like, this is amazing. I love it. I've seen a few of those now, and let me tell you, they delight me every time. I watched one for It Wasn't Me by Shaggy. Probably the best one. I watched one for Teenage Dirtbag by Wheatus. Fantastic. It's just like all these like not that Shaggy's like a one-hit wonder, but these songs where it was like landmark, huge song, blew up for a while, and now like you don't really think about it as much. They're amazing to hear, and I want to be that guy so bad. I just want to be the guy who blows up for 3 months, has a huge hit, I tour on it for 18 months, and then you never hear from me again the rest of your life, and I made $2 million. That's what I need for me. If you have a hit track, and you just want me to feature on it, or you want me to do something, I'll do a narration, I'll sing a hook, I'll do some harmonies, whatever it takes, just tweet me at Opinion Havers, all right? I want to be featured on your one-hit wonder. I want to sell out immediately and then fade into obscurity. You know what I'm saying? And live in a 4-bedroom house. That's it. That's all I need. I won't be able to afford a mansion. I won't have multiple houses. But I will have 4 bedrooms, and that's all you need. You get 1 bedroom for snacking, 1 bedroom for sleeping, 1 for your podcast, and another one for your Beanie Baby collection. That's why you need 4 bedrooms. Let's say it went through, Tyler. Snacking room, sleeping room, casting room, Beanie Baby room.
Beanie Baby room. But Cody, you've already got basically 4 bedrooms. Like you got that basement. It's basically another bedroom. I
have to share them though.
Wouldn't you share your 4 bedroom? Are you saying if you become featured on a track, you're on your own?
We're starting fresh. We're starting over.
Just leaving.
Right? New family, new life. That's how it's got to be.
Yeah. Well, yeah. She could just stay there, right? And then you buy the 4-bedroom house, but you keep your current house.
Yeah, it's just my special space for me.
Yeah.
She gets to keep her space here. We still have to share this space. Then I get my own special space.
I see where you're going now. I see where it's going. I got you. All right. I see you. I understand what you're saying. And I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what'd you think, Cody? Or do you want to try to explain the movie before you tell me what you thought?
First thing to know about this movie is that it is not the movie Legion.
Which confused
But
you.
I'll tell you more about that in my rant. I have a whole
right.
thing. I'll talk about that later.
Okay.
It is a movie set in the past future where it's after a vampire war, and the church went to war with the vampires. They trained deadly vampire warriors as priests, and the vampire war ended, and now we're living in a fun post-apocalyptic future where the church runs a grubby rundown city and the priests are just kind of hanging out. But could the vampires be back again? ... That's what it's about.
Perfect. It perfectly sums up the movie, Cody. You know, you didn't miss any of it, Cody. Any of the subtlety of it, the story building, the world building. You got it all.
Subtlety.
All right. So, Cody, tell me how much you loved it. All right. Tell me. Feed me your love. Feed me.
I didn't like it.
Oh.
It was stupid enough that like it went down easy. I mean, I was sleep deprived. I've been tired for multiple days. I wrestled a mouse in my house for 2 hours at 3 a.m. I caught it. They let it outside. Nobody died. Don't worry. Anyway, so I've been tired all week, and I got home at 8 p.m. I was like, I guess I gotta watch Priest now, and I made it through. The fact that I made it through the movie must be a compliment to it, because I was fully prepared to just fall asleep during whatever this was. It wasn't good. I wouldn't recommend it. But, it's here's what it's like. Are you ever, like, really hungry for, like, a snack or, like, a dessert? And you're like, I don't have anything good, but I have fig bars. So, I guess it's kind of sweet. I guess, it's better than nothing. Like, I'll eat it. I don't want to eat it, but I'll eat it. It's that forgotten snack in your cabinet that you're like, in a pinch, I guess I can eat that. I would never pick this, If I was at the grocery store, this wouldn't be the first thing I bought. But since it's here, we're both here, and I guess I'll just do it. And you do it, and you regret it after, of course, but you're like, at least, I got to eat something. That's what it's like. How'd it go for you, Tyler?
Oh, Cody, this is a fantastic movie. I don't know what you're talking about. I think we watched different movies. Really, I think you're out here.
Like what, you watched Legion? Because I'm still not convinced this movie wasn't that.
I mean, Legion is probably the better of the two movies. It was definitely the more advertised of the two movies, I think. It's a fantastic film, Cody. I would say it's the peak of Paul Bettany's career, personally. I think this is where
the peak of his career was his hijinks with Johnny Depp. Is that not?
Nah.
You seen any of that in the trial?
Nah.
Oh, they they had some coke-fueled romps together, him and Johnny. That's fun.
I mean, what would you not give to be on those coke-filled romps? That's the real question.
I'm not giving up my 4 bedrooms, but anything else is on the table.
Yeah, just to hang with a coked out Paul Bettany and Johnny Depp. Yeah.
Do you think? Okay, let's pretend that we're on the coke romp with them.
All right.
Are they doing it all in character? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, is Johnny Depp going to be Jack Sparrow for the romp, or is he going to be, Crybaby or any of those characters? Do you think Paul? Do you think they do that? Is it one of those?
I think if there's a run-in with the authorities, or if we need to sneak into somewhere and we get caught, yes, they're slipping into character because they're like, this will get me out of this. Because here's the thing with Johnny, he has a built-in defense against getting caught wasted in public. All right, he's just like, I was just acting like Jack Sparrow. He just goes in Jack Sparrow.
There's a sick kid over here. I was trying to cheer him up.
Yeah.
I was doing my Jack Sparrow. It's true.
That's why he carries the costume around with him, right? So he can just be like, no, officer, I'm just in character. I'm just in character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's what it's all about. All right, that's
He's
what
smart,
you need.
Yeah. It's a good cover.
Yeah. All right, Cody. Do you
So,
want to?
you love the
I
movie.
need to hear. I need to hear about this movie. I need. Do you want to jump right in? Can you?
I'm ready.
I want you to do it because I want to. I want to bottle some of your stuff. I want to butt some of your points. All right, that's what I really want. Okay, I have points,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah.
really want. I want to tear apart your arguments of why you claim this to be a bad movie when it is in fact one of the best movies. Okay, that's the thing. Not as good
All
as
right.
Dracula Untold, but up there. All right, up there with the greats.
Yeah, on that. Actually.
Better than 8.5. Many famous directors' favorite movie. So, do you wanna go first? Do you wanna hop on my solar powered rocket bike and go on into
Yeah, I really do.
the spoiler
Yeah.
lands with me? All right,
I'm so ready.
just hop right on here. Straddle this bike with me, Cody. Just grip me tight as I engage the nitro of my battery powered bike. All right, and let's just now we're here. We're in it. We're in the spoiler lands. So, I don't have
Yeah,
a timer.
I'm ready to rant at you as soon as you've got a timer for me.
I don't have the stupid timer pulled up. I can't
Yeah, I
even.
know, and I don't have my watch. My watch strap broke, and until I get a new one, it's not gonna. And I know I use my watch, and here we are. I'm here. I'm a sad boy without his watch strap. I'm not strapped.
right.
I'm always strapped on the podcast, and now I'm not strapped. It makes me comfortable.
Yeah. All right, are you ready? I'm ready. I got the timer. It's
All right.
here.
I'm ready.
Okay.
Tyler, let me tell you first off, this is a great cast. This is the amount of talent in this movie is upsetting. Christopher Plummer, Paul Bettany, Carl Urban, Lily Collins. This is a great. What are they doing? How did they get all these people into this movie? Several Lord of the Rings alumni. We're talking the actor who plays Wormtongue and Eomer are both in this movie. What happened? What happened that all these people got in the same room together? And there are people with Oscar nominations in this movie. Okay, this is insane. All right, fantastic cast, good for them. My second note. Oh my goodness, this isn't Legion. I was so confused. And I texted you about it, and we're going to talk about it, okay? We're going to talk about how this is the same director and leading actor in a very similar movie that took place 1 year apart from each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were both released within a year of each other. Same director, Paul Bettany, also in a movie, supernatural thriller action movie. I'm very confused why they both exist. Let me tell you, you can buy a 3-pack on Amazon. It's called the Fallen Angel 3 movie collection. It's got Legion, it's got Priest, and it's got Gabriel on it. So I've read the reviews. People are split. They're like, hey, it's a good deal if you like them. People seem to think either Priest is the best or Legion is the best. Then there's one psycho who's like, Gabriel's good, Priest sucks, I guess there's a TV show from the same, based off of the Legion movie called Dominion. So I guess that continues there. I don't know. Let me tell you, I love these reviews. They're so good. This person, their review says, great. Pretty good. Haven't watched Gabriel or Priest yet, but Legion is a great apocalypse / Fallen Angel movie. Our favorite. That's really our peak market is the Fallen Angel / apocalypse movies. It's our favorite on this one. So there's that. It's not Legion. I saw a lot of trailers for Legion, and I really thought that's what we were going into. And when I found out how closely released this was with the same director, I blew my mind. And it honestly distracted me a lot from watching this movie. It's fine. I got over it. The art of vampire combat. Love that. I love that whole phrase. I love that it's an art, okay? I love that they don't have like their own special kind of martial arts, they call it. They're just like, no, vampire combat. The art of it, loved it. Here's the other thing. I wish more bad movies did this. They have a little intro, and it's like, oh, what's going to happen to Carl Urban? He got taken away by the vampires. All right, I know there's vampires. I know there's what seem to be priests fighting them. And then they're like, how about this? How about a Samurai Jack anime 3-minute intro? And they just do the whole exposition dump. And you know what? I wish more bad movies did that because it answered a lot of questions for me. It was just like, you know what? We did it. We don't have to sneak it in awkward dialogue. It's literally like, hey, here's the 3-minute history. This is what's going on. Enjoy the rest of the movie now. You know, why not? Why not go big and just give it to us up front? I appreciated that. The cross on his forehead is 40% too big, at least. It is huge. What is it? It's very distracting. It needs to be like, you ever heard of Harry Potter? I believe I'm saying that right. It needs to be something like that where it's like, hey, it's right here. It's a little thing. It's not like a big deal or anything, but no, it is massive. Absolutely massive. I couldn't deal with it. I was like, it doesn't have to be tiny. It just needs to be smaller. It's all the way down the note. The whole come on, man. You really doing that to him? Let me tell you. There's some great terminology. The Art of Vampire Combat, Tolkien with A++ that name, right? The verbiage of the movie is fantastic. How about this? At one point, a man says, "There's a vamp attack." And I love that he shortened vampire to vamp, and then no one throughout the rest of the movie uses it. No one else ever says vamp the rest of the movie. Made me real happy. It was just the one guy. Fantastic. Let me tell you my other favorite verbiage in this movie. It's the end of the movie, all right? We're in spoiler town. No big deal. Carl Urban is like, here's what happened to me. They took me and they attacked me, and then the queen vampire turned me into something that's never been seen before. A human vampire. I was like, there's no cool name for it. Like, what? We know you're a human vampire. We saw your teeth. We saw you have powers. Obviously, that's what you are. There's no name for it. You're just a human vampire. So anticlimactic. I was so mad. Tyler, I'm still mad about it. And I need you. You cannot defend this man.
I can, Cody. I can.
No, I'm not done.
Cody, that's your minutes, Cody. You got your minutes.
This man
no
became something that's never been seen before and then didn't give it a cool name. What is this? That's, oh my goodness. All right.
You be quiet, Cody. This is my time, all right? We're going into it. Cody, here's the thing. The cool name for a human vampire is a vampire. Human vampire. This is a whole separate world, Cody. This is a world they have built. Did you not see the world building at the beginning? Because it was built. The world, here's what they took the world, they built it. Here's what they set it up. They're like, hey, vampires, they're faster. They're apex predators or whatever. They sparkle in the sunlight, no big deal. That's And it's like, but humans, they had the sun and artillery, because I like they took it through, like, they've been at war forever. Like, it's always been, like, all human advancement. Normally, it's like advancing humans to fight other humans. This is the, like, different universe where it's all advancement has been to fight these stupid vampires, all right? Which are not humans, Cody. They're not people that have been turned into vampires. You get infected by the vampires, they get turned into a familiar, a la Guillermo from What We Do in the Shadows. All right. Have you seen that show? No, you haven't. You would know Guillermo is a familiar. He's the best. He's a sweet boy, and we love him. All right. So that's what the vampire thing does. It turns you into a weird vampire slave, right? And then he's I'm a human vampire. Here's what I hate. I hate that they, like, make it like it's a big reveal at the end after he has bit somebody, and it's like, dude, come on. Like, you've made it clear. Anybody who's not on board at this point, you probably don't need those people as a fan base. All right, you just need to. You should have done this at the beginning, where and had him explain it to somebody. I don't know. Just don't explain it. Point is, he's a human vampire. All right, because that's the only. What do you want him to say? Nothing. That's right. Nothing. Here's the thing, Cody. I think this is just all film. It was all filmed in Italy, right? Because this is a world run by the church. That's Italy, right? Italy's run by the church. So that's what this is. This is what I imagine it looks like, right? People think it's all vineyards and chalets, but it's, it's just this post-apocalyptic, thing. Here's the thing. What I don't think they did a good job of doing is they're like, oh, look, history up to like World War I era technology, then priests. Then they're like, hey, there's radiation out here, and they didn't like do a good job, I think, in my opinion, of being like, yeah, no, like they like tried to nuke the vampires. That's why everything outside the cities is suck, because they've nuked them, and now everything's kind of becoming good again. So I'll give you that, Cody. But the movie's so cool. All right, there were multiple times where I said to Tiffany, I was just like, man, this movie's so cool. Like when he's doing the scene, Cody, don't you cannot look me in the eye. And when there's the scene with the huge wasteland and the city behind him, and he's on his bike, and he hits the stupid nitro where it's like there's no nitro in the bike. The bike is battery powered anyway, but he shoots off, and it's the cloud of the city in the background. He's going, you cannot honestly look me in the eye and didn't think, oh, that's cool, because it was so cool. It was just like, oh, this is cool. It's cool. Here's the genius of this film. They were like, look, we don't have a lot of money, all right? And we can't do that good of effects, but we can do effects that are going to look fantastic in shadow. So everything needs to happen in shadow. There's like one effect when they burst out of their little paws, little arm comes out. That's the only effect that I would say looks bad. All the other ones, they're like, shadow it up, and it'll look great. And you know what? They're right. It looks great, all right? Cody, don't talk to the priests, all right? That's the one rule. That's what that one lady said. That's what we know, all right? We know you don't talk to the priests because they have the giant tattoo on their face. And if they didn't have the giant tattoo, Cody, that might be, maybe in some scenes was slightly off to one side or the other because the people who painted it on Paul Bettany's face didn't quite get it straight. But we're not, whatever. It's a tattoo. That's how you know don't talk to those people. They're priests. They saved the world. They're heroes. Don't talk to them. All right. When he gives them the shooting lesson, it is the worst shooting lesson ever, right? He's like, here's how you shoot, and then shoots off to the side, and then he's like, are you teaching me how to shoot? I'm teaching you how to kill vampires. And then no lesson was given. All right? That's what all it was. All right. But Cody, it was cool though. All right? When he kicked it up and pow, that was cool, right? Here's the thing that, Cody, I know you don't understand. All right, you're looking at me and you're like, I don't understand it. I see it in your eyes. The priests have superpowers, all right? They're fast and strong like the vampires. That's the thing. That's the whole thing of them. They got the superpowers. They're not regular people, Cody. They don't have sex. That's where the superpower comes from, all right?
Tyler, I'm going to have to cut you off right there. You blew my mind with that last one. I got to give you credit. I didn't even put it together. It's it's all about the precious fluids. When you keep your fluids pure, you become stronger and more nimble.
Yeah. That's why he was the best, Cody, because he did it. He created the child. Then it was more pent up. He had more fluids that were pent up. All right.
More precious fluids.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, here's the thing about I hear what you're saying, right? You got to have the cross on the face so they know not to talk to. Here's the thing. They're like, hey, we're going to train you to be deadly warriors and super strong and everything. Thanks for saving our butts. Now we're going to be dicks to you. You're exiled, but you live here. What is the church's game plan for these priests? Why are they even keeping them around? Like, shouldn't they have like a monastery? Like, you could also just put like a little priest monastery out on the borders of the town and be like, hey, you can still try to hunt some vampires, Instead, they're like, we're going to be jerks to like the superheroes and not let them do anything or never believe them or never, it's like, what did you think was going to happen, my guy, Christopher Plummer? What's your game plan?
Well,
how is this benefiting anyone?
If we're being real, is it not kind of like an allegory of how countries treat their veterans, where you kind of like, cool, thanks for saving us. Now go become a trash guy, I guess. I don't know. No one will hire you because you got no applicable skills aside from killing people that want to kill me.
Interesting. That's quite an astute observation.
Like, I think this is.
I'll give it to you.
It's like a lot of these movies, right? I will tell you, a lot of the Tyler's trash are based on like comics or like things like that, right? Or books or something. Mm-hmm. And I feel like a lot of them have these very deep social commentary things that make the book or the comic really popular, and then when they make the movie, they're like, all right, we're gonna lean more into like the coolness and the combat.
The cool stuff. Yeah.
When if you were to ask like the fan base, they would probably be like, well, but we like is that, you know, this like drama between the priests and the church, and how like, yeah, they're like veterans they're like soldiers, and the church is like the government, and them trying to be like, no, there's this problem coming. There's problems. I would say a train full of vampires coming to your city is a problem.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Can we talk about let's pivot a little bit to the costume.
Okay.
Specifically, the robe with the hood that he wears in the beginning.
Yeah.
It is all woolly and curly, and it looks like, you know, like when you have an old blanket that has all the little lint balls all over it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it looked like. It distracted me quite a lot. I wish he had just had like a regular fabric, you know? Looked like his coat was trying to have a good time, you know? It's like a fun brooding coat, you know?
To me,
Didn't get that vibe.
no, to me it came across as like when you're doing like a medieval movie and someone's got like a handmade wool cloak, and that's what it looked like to me. Because here's the thing, I figured out the vibe of the movie. It came to me when they showed it cut from like the city to the people in the western town. Because I told Tiffany, I was like, oh, it's kind of like, it's like you know, I was trying to describe it, and then like after we started, I was like, oh yeah, it's kind of like got western vibes too, like because it's all like everything's western, and there's like the sheriff in the town and all that, you know. But the technology vibes and like the overall aesthetic and stuff, I figured it out. It's very like Fallout, in that it's like, oh, there was a society. That society is now gone. Now we're like rebuilding back up to that, but we still got like old-timey, old west style technology.
My very favorite example of that, Bailey pointed this out, so she gets the credit. When the train stops at one of the stations on the way into town, into the big city, and there's like the old prospector guy, you know, the train conductor dude watching the station, he's like, what's this train coming in? Surrounded by electrical lights. Then he grabs like a flame lantern to go out. So I'm like, there's electricity everywhere, and you got a this flame lantern's doing is doing nothing for you. B, why you got a flame lantern when there's electricity everywhere all around you? Made me really happy. Yeah. Like, what is this? You don't even know what you're doing.
Well, I mean, in that same town, they have places heating their house with like a stove, listening to vinyl records on an old like not like even a regular record player, like one with a horn.
How is the flame lantern gonna help you? Like, it's one of those things with how bright the electrical lights were. I'm like, that flame lantern's not doing. You know, that's like if I got a Zippo and was like, all right, this is gonna help me see something here. Like, no, there's any light that's not gonna. Unless it's pitch black, a Zippo lighter's not doing anything for you. Yeah.
But it's fine. My thing. If a society,
you gotta have it both ways, and that's what I respect about it.
If you lived in a world, right, where vampires were the main threat to you, right?
Yeah.
Would you not kind of throw the risk of skin cancer to the wind and develop light bulbs almost exclusively that give off UV light? Or is the idea that it's like a mystical thing from sunlight, not the UV light? Because I feel like that's what it usually is, right?
If I was a vampire, I would just put on physical sunblock, you know, the really good, the zinc one that like actually just blocks the rays from hitting you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wouldn't you just invent, if you were a vampire? Whatever. Here, okay, you talked about the effects. The vampires did look great. Like,
yeah,
they held up. Like, those effects looked really good. I feel like they put all their budget into those. Like, let's just not make the vampires look dumb. So, I mean, it worked.
Yeah. It is one of those movies where it's like, I personally think the sets look awesome. The effects look awesome. The costumes, I think they nailed what they were going for, especially if you like look at the comic and stuff. Like, they nailed it perfectly. Mm-hmm. I think it's cool. I think they leaned. It could have been. But it's like the very nature of it is like, this isn't going to be like top 10 movie of all time, like winning all these awards. Like, it's just never going to be that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's awesome. Personally, it's just so cool. It's just so cool, Cody.
Okay, let's talk about the familiars a little bit. I was confused by that because I was like, I was thinking of the familiars like what we do in the shadows, where it's like, oh, it's just a human serving a vampire. But you're saying you get bit, so you're vampire-y, but you're not a full vampire. Anyway, whatever, it's fine. You go to the familiars. There's the guy, and he's chopping off like crow heads or rooster heads or whatever, and draining their blood. He's doing that. That's his job.
Mm-hmm.
Here's what I love about it. They show the close up of like, oh, he chopped off a bird head, ew. And then he's talking to him, and then he's like still talking. He's like, well, I got to do something with my hand. So then he like chops again, but he doesn't chop anything off. He just like chops it next to the bird head he already chopped off. I'm like, what do you do? I saw that. Why'd you do the close up then when nothing was happening? And then the next time he does it, he is cutting. I'm like, silly guy, doing his his prop work.
Yeah.
They also in that same scene. It's funny because we watched the unrated one, which I'm assuming is like, oh, there's 2 or 3 bloody shots we got to throw in there, right? Because there's nothing crazy in the movie. Anyway, there's a scene of the priest. He's fighting the familiars, and he's literally there's like 3 different close-ups of him like breaking someone's arm.
Okay.
And you know this. I have a great sound system. I didn't hear a single cracking
Neither did I.
sound effect on any of those. I was like, he just broke a man's arm. We saw it. It didn't even make like a pop or like anything. Like they didn't make a tiny crunch. It was like, okay. Like, okay, but nothing happened because there's no sound.
All right, but here's the thing, Cody. Because I looked up, but when I was buying these, I was like, okay, what is the difference between the unrated and the rated version, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things is in the theatrical release, he breaks it, and it's just kind of like a snapping the carrot sound, like classic.
Right.
But in the unrated, it's supposed to be like, it's like the 2 different sounds. It's like, I'm going to take a carrot, snap, versus I'm going to take like 6 stalks of celery and slowly snap them.
Yeah.
So that was supposed to be the difference. And I think they just didn't put the sound effect in the unrated version.
I think you're right.
Because it specifically calls it out.
I didn't hear nothing.
Neither did I. And it specifically calls it out as that's like one of the biggest things, because like bone crunching violence is like that specific, like that crunch as opposed to a snap is something that gets you from PG-13 to R. So they took it out to get the PG-13. And they didn't put it back in.
So specific.
And it drove me, because it looks like...
why would you show the close-up and then not
yeah,
add anything in there?
because it looks like he just elbows like a Muppet arm. Right? Yeah. That's what it looks like. Because it just bends. It just bends. It doesn't do anything. So I was so mad. Man. And also it didn't seem like any of the blood splatter was bigger like it was supposed to. So I feel ripped off personally that I got the... But I mean, I looked it up. The unrated versus the theatrical is just literally like they toned all the blood splatter down maybe 40% for the theatrical release. Yeah. So I was like, oh, it's going to be way more fun to watch the unrated version. Except for the fact that we didn't get the bone crunching sound, which I was like... Ugh.
Tell you what, next time you watch it, Tyler, I'm going to sit in the back of the room with the celery stalks. I'll live Foley in the sound just
driving me nuts. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I hear ya. So Priest has a potential love interest, Lady French, the other priestess, the other priest lady who goes and she warns him. Here's my thing about her. It's been a while since we've had a nipple conversation. Since the Bond films, we haven't talked much about them. Let's bring back nipple talk. So her costume was specifically engineered to have nipples poking out. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if you noticed it, but it was really aggressive for the first couple scenes. Then it tones down throughout the movie, but it's like very clear that they like made it so it like does a little. Here, I'll show you. Sorry, you guys can't see this, but it's very much like designed to have a little like whoop. So distracted me a lot. I had to point out to Bailey. She noticed it too. I'm not crazy. You're crazy. My question is, why? Why so aggressive? Why did we make aggressive nipple action part of the costume?
I mean, I wish I was with you, Cody.
She has sworn an oath of celibacy, and she's out here flaunting her nips. That's not right to me.
I wish I was
the
with you.
Celibacy oath, right?
I don't remember the nips.
Tyler, it breaks my heart that you can't be here to back me up.
I can't. Yeah. I'm looking at a
Mike,
costume.
I wrote down the note: nipples part of costume or no? And then by the next scene, I was like, absolutely 100% they are. So, Tyler, next time you watch it, I'll do the celery sound effects. You got to go on nipple watch, and we'll get it.
I mean, are you sure you're not just a crazy person? Because you might be. It wouldn't surprise me.
I know what I saw. I know what I saw.
Did you though?
Tyler,
All right.
let's talk about motorcycles.
Okay.
Their motorcycles are flimsy. I knew a man with a motorcycle. He had a BMW motorcycle, and he had the little like kick guard thing, so when you tip, it just grinds on that instead of scratching up your bike. The thing is, motorcycles, the heavy duty ones, they're pretty sturdy, Like I get the really lightweight like street racing ones, those will tumble a lot. The big heavy ones, like you can tip those over and they'll kind of just like slide. So I thought that's what these would do. when what's his name hops off the bike onto the train, it literally just like disintegrates into like 50 pieces.
Yeah.
But then later, when he falls off the train, there's one of the dirt bikes that was there and it's just fine. And he's like, all right on this. What's that about? You know what I'm saying? This is the future, past, post-apocalyptic West. We can't have motorcycle. You know what I'm saying? I thought that motorcycles would have been better built. I'm just going to say it.
I mean, it's like sometimes, Cody, you're out here, you're dropping your bike going like 1,000 miles an hour. Sometimes it explodes, What more do you want? His also looked like it was like homemade versus theirs, which looked like dirt bikes. And we all know dirt bikes are sturdier than, not dirt bikes.
Let's talk about this.
Right.
I find this man interesting. He is in love with Lily Collins.
Yes.
He is a sheriff of a town.
Yes.
He lets seemingly a lot of things slide. Whatever. I don't care. Here's my thing. The whole conflict is I'm in love with Lily Collins, so I want to save her. But then Priest, Paul Bettany is like, yeah, I want to save her, but I'm going to kill her if she's infected. So then Sheriff guy's like, well, if you're going to kill her if she's infected, then I'm going to kill you after you save her, but also before you kill her. I'm like, this is like 4 chess moves too complicated. Guy, you need him to save her anyway. But he's like thinking about killing her before they even save her. He's like, dude, you stand 0 chance to save Lily Collins without this guy. That's why you got his help.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why don't we just go and see if she's not infected or not, and then we'll take it from there. You know what I'm saying? Also, whatever, it's fine,
But
It would have been great if she was infected and it was like, darn it. And can you imagine go through all the work? If you went through all the work of saving her and then you had to kill her, it's like, womp womp, I would have liked that movie. That would have made this a Cody movie instead of a Tyler movie.
yeah, but then it would have been a bad movie.
Okay.
That's the thing.
So he's bad at saving her because he's not good enough. He's not a priest. Doesn't have the superpowers. Can't fight it.
Yeah.
But he gets better, whatever. Here's my thing. There's a familiar who has Lily Collins, and he's running. He's running. He's going through the different, what do they call them? Caboose? A caboose?
The train
cars?
cars.
He's going through the different train cars, all right? He's going through them. And our sheriff guy is chasing him. He's in love with Lily Collins. He wants to save her. He wants to save her real bad.
Mm-hmm.
They're running, and the guy goes to the next train car. He shuts the door. Immediately, Priest pops out of the floor, all right? And he's like, what's going on? And the sheriff's like, they took her to the front. She's literally in the next caboose. Like, she's 1 car ahead, and he's like, she's gone. Like, no, the guy was 10 feet ahead of you. You got to open that door. But he's talking to Priest like she's already at the front of the train. What was that about? I watched the door close. Priest popped up, and he's like, she's up there. I don't know where she went. Like, dude, he's right. What are you doing? What was he doing? Explain this.
Here's the thing, Cody. First off, the
Yeah.
caboose is the back.
Thank you.
All right. The rest of them are just train cars. So personally, I take offense that you had it and then you lost it. You know what I'm saying? They're like train car. It's like when somebody's like, I don't know, what's that thing called? Like a house, a cottage, a bungalow. It's like, no, you had it. It's called a house. You don't need. Let's talk about people who call a house a bungalow. I hate you. Moving on. I don't know. What more do you want? Maybe he locked the door. Priest had to kick it down. All right, Priest.
My thing is they never tried to open the door. Like try. They didn't do anything. He was like, they walked through that door. What are we gonna do?
Well,
Gotta find.
I mean, let's be real.
Dude, you just chased him through like 3 train cars. What's different about that one?
What is he gonna do? That's the real question, Cody. What is he gonna do?
Try to open the door. Why he didn't? He's bad at this.
He can't do anything.
There's no possible world where the sheriff saves Lily Collins.
Right.
There is 0% chance because he was stopped by a door.
Yeah.
A door stopped this man.
But Priest was ready to kill.
I was a little
vampires.
confused about their plan.
What plan?
I was a little bit confused about the plan. I don't know if you were. I'm sure you weren't because you love this movie.
I love it.
So the plan was Priest and Sheriff were going to hop on the caboose, then work their way up through the train cars all the way to the front, potentially. They're going to find Lily Collins, right? Meantime, the lady priestess lady, she's like, I'm going to go wire the tracks to explode. Let me know when you're safe, and I'll blow the tracks. I'm like, that's fine plan. But, like, once you wired it to go, isn't it going to blow up anyway? So why would you... I didn't understand. Like, how do you know if they... Were you going to blow them up? At one point, were you going to blow them up? How did you know if you got far enough to wire the tracks right? You know what I'm saying? It seemed like hard timing to do. And here's why I know it's a bad plan. Because she abandons it. And she's like, forget wiring the tracks. I'm going to wire my motorcycle up. Forget about the timing. I'm just going to blow up the train either way. So it's like, it was a bad plan is what I'm saying. She was like, I'll wait for the signal. And then she's like, forget the signal. I'm just blowing this thing up.
Well, okay, Cody. Let's break down the plan here for you first, okay? Hicks, the useless sheriff, hops on the back. Priest does not hop on the back. So obviously the back of the train is probably not part of the real plan. Because neither of the priests are taking that as part of their thing. All right?
The caboose.
The caboose is not part of the real plan. The caboose is like, hey, Hicks, you check out the back of the train and keep an eye on it. All right? Priest was got to try to go up and stop the train as he was headed towards the front of the train to stop it.
Okay.
And he was met by Black Hat, Carl Urban. All right. Priestess went up to blow it, got in a fight where a guy broke the detonator for him. That was the thing that she set, and then he fell on, and then she shows it, and there's like, it sits on it for a time that I think it takes too long. I thought, Mike, you really are driving home the fact that this thing's broken. And obviously, Cody, I'm looking at you, I'm hearing your explanation of their plan, and I'm like, obviously they didn't really drive it home enough. Because you're like, then she just abandons the plan. So that was the thing. And she's like, I'm going to have to strap it to the bike, ram it into the train. Which you could say the train running over it might have blown up the stuff, but
that's what
the
I'm
idea,
saying.
I think, is that she wired
once you've wired it down to a spot, that's where the train's going to blow up, regardless of the timing of anything, because the train's just going. You can't. Here's the thing. Here's a fun fact about trains. This is something not a lot of people know. They're hard to stop.
Yes.
They take a long time to stop.
Yeah.
So once you've wired the tracks, you've committed to that timeline. So it doesn't matter if they got on or off, you know?
Yeah. But here's the thing. I think the idea is she wired it to that. Because here's the other thing. Most explosives, Cody, you can't just hit them with something. Like if you take a hammer to a thing of C4, the C4 is not going to explode.
Right.
You need
You need a thingy that's going to charge.
The detonator to detonate it, right?
Yeah.
And that's by design, Cody. Fun fact. It's the
So how'd you detonate it while riding a motorcycle?
Well, I think the motorcycle exploding became the detonator. I think that became your detonator, right? Because see, here's the thing.
The electric motorcycle?
Well,
the electric motorcycle?
I mean, that is what the detonator would have done, is send an electric signal through the thing, right?
Tesla made motorcycles yet? Why haven't they done that?
I don't know, man. They're, you know what, they're doing their own thing, you know? They're out here, they're doing something. Who knows what they're doing, all right? All I know is Elon Musk bought Twitter, and, everybody's freaking out about it. Everybody's going to Mastodon. Everybody's gonna be tooting.
No one cares about Twitter though, right? Like we've already established that Twitter doesn't matter.
Yeah, right. You
Am I
know who
wrong?
uses Twitter? Famous
Okay,
people.
cool.
That's it. Famous people use it to talk to other famous people. And then you see a Twitter post on Reddit or something. That's what happens.
Perfectly, it's working as designed.
The point is, Cody, the plan was flawless. And then, except for the fact that there was a human vampire, something that had never been seen before. All right?
Oh my gosh, why he named himself a human Like they made a meal out of that. They're like something that's never been made before.
Well, I mean, it's not like...
Human vampire. Like,
See, I've been looking up human vampire, Cody. There's not a name.
when we made a cookie brownie, we didn't call it a cookie brownie. We made up a name for it, a blondie. All right, that's what we did.
I hate that. I
Yeah.
hate it.
I'm just
That
saying
doesn't
it
make
needs a
sense.
name of some kind.
Well, there's the half human, half vampire called a dampire, but then you would have been like, what is that?
A dampire.
Plus, Cody, it's never been seen before. There's no name for it.
Could have been a human vampire. You shorten vampire to vamp. We did that once, never revisited. Add an H to it. A hamp. Boom. That I would have been happy with that. A hamp.
Cody, I've got the call from Lionsgate. They said
Manpire.
you're fired.
Is that a good one?
I didn't know they'd hired you, but they fired you already. I'm sorry to hear that.
I like Manpire as well. It's also a good one.
Manpire. Human vampire. That's what he was, Cody. Carl Urban.
But it's
He had
like we knew that.
vampire teeth.
Everyone knew that you were a human vampire.
Yeah.
You have weird colored eyes. You have vampire teeth. You have drained someone of their blood. We're good. You're extra strong. Like, yeah, no, we're all.
But Paul.
You've given us no new information.
But
You just said how it happened. I guess that's something.
okay, now here's the thing. I'll get you. I don't think the bad thing is the human vampire thing. What I think is bad is that they explained it in the last 20 minutes of the film. What they should have done is had his dying brother say it. Say, hey, this dude is a man that moved like a man, like a vamp that could do stuff like a vampire or something. I don't know. Find a way in his
Right.
dying breath that he reveals, oh shoot, Carl Urban's still alive and he's a vampire now. Mm-hmm. Then you could have had the whole movie where he's like, I'm going to have to fight like the second best priest with vampire superpowers.
Right. Yeah, because he even when they go to fight, Priest is like, this will just be like normal fight, right? And he's like, no, I don't. Like it's not gonna go well.
Yeah.
You're
It's like you guys were already.
surprised it went as well as it did.
Yeah, you're already superheroes. And then he got extra superpowers, so it's not going great. Here's
Yeah.
what I hate. All right, here's what you didn't see this, you didn't think about it, and I hate that you didn't say anything about it. Okay, dude with the ring sword things comes at him. He's doing the ninja thing. No. We're not going that. We're not going to that. That's classic bad movie stuff. That's classic kung fu movies. Whatever. Who cares? We're moving on. Point is, Carl Urban punches him, and his hand is covered in blood. The guy's chest has a bloody mark on it, but his clothes are still intact. And it's like, if you punch through skin, you're punching through the clothes too, right?
I also like that what he's holding looks like a gooey amygdala thing. Like it's not even like a heart or organ. It's like blue goo. It's like, what are you holding?
Well, I think it's just supposed to be blood on
It's
his
like
fist.
he was holding a jellyfish.
It's just his fist.
Yeah, but it looked like a jellyfish to me, like a blue jellyfish. I was like, what?
I mean, it's because everything's got the blue tint, Cody. That's where it all comes back around.
Oh yeah, the blue tint.
Yeah.
That was awesome because he's like swinging his thing and doing it's not even like what he was winding back for a hit. He was literally doing his swingies, to show off as he ran at him. Like, dude, you weren't ready to fight anyway. That's not how you.
It's all about
That's not how the art of vampire
combat.
What is it? The art of vampire combat goes.
You don't know. You don't know the art of vampire combat. Let's.
No, here's my favorite
interview,
art.
please.
Here's my favorite vampire combat art I saw. I think you'll agree with me. It was Lady Priest fighting the motorcycle gang. She wraps him in a chain, pulls it, blows him into 100 chunks. Just diced him in one move into a bunch of chunks. That's how you fight a vampire.
Now,
that's how you take out a familiar.
Yeah.
You know?
Now that right there, that's courtesy of the unrated version, Cody. You're welcome.
Nice. What is it? Priest is like, we're like right towards the end of the movie, and he's like, what is it? Hicks does something good, he shoots someone, you know? And Priest is like, you would have been a good priest. And he's like, thanks, man. He's like, don't let it get to your head. I'm like, guys, we're doing something way more important. I don't understand why this quip is happening right now.
Yeah, it's like when he shoots the
Why would you?
he shoots the sun holes.
He compliments him. He's like, don't get cocky. Like, you just told him he did a good job.
Yeah.
Like, and he wasn't like boastful, but he was like, oh, thanks, man. It's like, love that. I mean, I guess that's classic, like, father-in-law hijinks, you know, where it's like, you don't do it, you know.
Yeah.
Don't you lay your fingers on my doubter. Okay. Here's my favorite thing about Lily Collins' character. She gets kidnapped, right? And she's looking rough for the whole movie. It's like, oh, she is not well. They must have infected her, or she's sick, whatever. This continues for the whole movie. Then Priest grabs her, jumps off the train explodes. He's holding her. Oh, but thank goodness she's going to be okay. She's healthy again. I don't know what happened. She went from like dehydrated, pale face, like craggly lips, you know, looked on the brink of death. And then as soon as they're off the train, she's like, oh yeah, no, I'm good to go. I'm feeling great. What happened? What happened between her being on the train and her being off the train that she all of a sudden has life in her face again, you know?
Cody, let's be real. I think you fell asleep in the middle of this movie. There's a whole scene where Carl Urban is like, you must be starving, like you're on the brink of death, have some food and water, and like let me nurse you back to health real quick. And then they do the rescue mission.
She looks sick after that too, though. She looked sick when they were doing the whole fight.
Are you sure you're not thinking of his familiar, who looked like he was
No,
muddy sand?
Awful. She was like under green lighting. She looked like she was turned into a familiar.
Hold on now. I'm going back to the movie. I've had the clips of the movie up, and I gotta tell you, Cody. So far, you're not batting 1,000 here. You're talking about stuff, Cody, and I'm pretty sure. I'm thinking, Cody. This is just me, my brain here. I'm thinking you fell asleep during this movie, and you watched the Cliff Notes version or something of it, and then you're like, I can wing it through this podcast or something. You know, that's what I think happened. That's what I'm thinking's going on right now. Because she looks real healthy.
Lily Collins looked like she visited the makeup table at Sephora between when they were on the train and when she was on. And furthermore, she was looking great. And Hicks was covered in an amount of dirt that was like upsetting. Like an
I knew you were going to bring up your stupid obsession with this
wouldn't they
dirt.
both be dirty?
He's outside.
I know he was on a dirt bike and everything. I'm just saying, like, her face got real clean and his face got real dirty.
I mean, she has been inside the entire time, and he's been outside the whole time. So, I mean,
Bailey called the twist where it's like, no, this isn't my niece. This is my daughter.
well
She's
yeah.
fine. He'd been naughty. He did the sex, all right? And he's not supposed to do... No, he took the oath out right after that, right? Yeah, he got called up right after.
Cody, I'm looking.
My favorite thing, too, is, like, at the end, Priest rolls up. Paul Bettany takes a fresh vampire head and, like, drops it on the floor and is like, hey, there's a vampire colony here. You can go see the evidence. There's a whole bunch that were headed here. We stopped them. Here's a live, you know, a just freshly killed vampire head. And Christopher Plummer's like, you're such a liar. Christopher Plummer, get out the game.
But Cody,
you burnt. You know what I'm
He could
saying?
have just gone to one of the reservations and killed a vampire.
I guess, maybe.
If
Why
I
not,
walked
you know?
up, Cody, if I walked into your house and I just dropped the head of a Native American and I said, Cody, they're back. They're coming for you. All right? They want it all back. They're coming.
No.
All right? Are you going to just assume, are you just going to trust me that, Cody, they're back and they're on the warpath? They're coming for you and your family and your lands. All right? Or are you going to assume Tyler just killed a random Native American man that he encountered?
You know, that's a pretty good point, Tyler.
You know, I'm out here. I understand what the church is doing here. Cody, there is no war in Ba Sing Se, all right? That's what you don't understand.
Oh, yeah. Man. What was the if you go against the church to go against God? I like that they said that like 6 times in 2 minutes. I was like, I get it, man. Like 4 different people have said it. It was on the intercom twice. Like I fully understand. I need some new sayings. I need some other exposition. I've gotten that exposition. I need some new exposition.
Yeah.
You know,
Cody, you've never been a Catholic. You don't know what it's like, all right? That's all you hear all the time, all right? Right? That's what it is. Like I said, this movie is what it's like to live in Italy. Right?
so
If you live in the Vatican, tweet us at Opinion Havers. Tell us if it's like priest. You know? Are vampires an issue?
I would like to know that.
Do you have the sun in the city? Because they didn't have the sun anymore, if you remember. Because of the pollution. So maybe it's like living in LA with the tweakers.
Oh yeah.
You know, the tweakers, they're like vampires, right? They don't like the sun and they move real fast and they move in irregular patterns. You know?
Yeah, what did he say? They move in concentric circles, so you gotta shoot ahead. You gotta anticipate where they're gonna be, because they're always gonna go in a concentric.
I think what he said, because I thought the same
That's
thing.
the first thing you gotta know about vampires.
I had the same knee-jerk reaction, and then no,
I swear he said concentric.
no,
circles.
because I thought he said it too. He said inconsistent patterns is what he says, but it sounds almost yeah.
No,
Yes,
he
he did.
didn't. That makes even less like, hey, they move inconsistently, so make sure to shoot where they're gonna be. Like, if they move inconsistently, how are you gonna know they're gonna be?
Because Cody,
Explain that to me. Whereas if at least it's a concentric circle, hey, well, they're gonna move in a pattern. So
point A,
they're moving in a circle.
point B, all right?
So you got A and B. I mean, really, it should be C, because you got to see A to B. You want to see A to B, you can anticipate C.
Here's the thing: I'm turning the subtitles on. I'm fast forwarding to this section that you don't even know. All right, that you're like out here.
I love it too that Hicks is like, you teach me how to shoot. It's like, dude, you almost just died 3 times. Like, this is not the time to pretend like you're good at stuff.
Yeah, I mean,
You were not in charge here. You were along for the ride. You're gonna watch the caboose and just be happy you don't.
for
die.
somebody that so he went to priest who was living unhappily, in concentric patterns. No, you're right, concentric patterns, but not concentric circles, Cody. That's stupid. You got to
So
anticipate
what does concentric patterns even mean?
that they. Hold on. Let's
All
get
right,
to
let's define concentric. If you type in concentric, the second option
Cody,
is circles. So.
Well, you don't understand is there's 2 points.
Of or denoting circles, arcs, or other shapes which share the same center. The larger often completely
points.
surrounding the smaller.
Cody, there's 2 points, A and
Right.
B. If you know them both,
Just like a circle. Circles, 2 points. 2 points makes a circle. That's what you need.
I think what they were going for is because they move, like if you know where they are and where they're wanting to jump to, it's a very predictable path. Is what he meant. It's kind of like what he was trying to say.
Concentric
Yeah.
path, some would say.
Like it's always the same arc that they jump in, so you
thing.
can shoot them.
This is the thing about this
Yeah.
movie. They have such a good cast.
So good.
And they're acting so hard, but like every 4th line for me of dialogue really let these guys down. I'm like, Carl Urban is doing a good job acting, like good for him. And Paul Bettany's pretty good too. I don't have much to complain about their performances. Sometimes you get this like pretty good performance and you put it up with concentric patterns and I'm like, this isn't working. It's one of those things like maybe it works better in print. Maybe I don't know if they lifted that line directly from the comic or the source material, but
I mean,
You
I
know?
would doubt.
it is what it is.
I would doubt this is super.
He steps on the rocks. He jumps off the rocks.
So cool.
That's one. It's fine.
You shut your whore mouth. That's the coolest thing ever. All right.
I've seen it happen in a couple movies, and it's never made me happy. But I think, whatever.
Cody-
Tyler, why? Okay, I'll ask you this question. Why do you like this?
Because it's
know?
cool, Cody. All right. Why do you not like the idea of Here's what I'm thinking. Me and my friends, we were out there. We're playing make believe. We're like, we're ninjas. Cody, you're in there like, I'm gonna play economist. I'm gonna be in here. I'm gonna track the trajectory of the growth of the market on this year, on year over year growth. That's what the difference between us is. I had a childhood full of joy and whimsy, and you're out here determining whether or not the market is a bear bull market, right? And I'm out there fight, that's the difference, right? That's really
How dare you besmirch, my childhood economy fantasies, That's how I grew my imagination.
yeah. Can't believe you didn't like the rock thing. It's so cool. It's like the coolest thing in the whole movie. Ugh, it's just sickens me that you didn't like it. Did you have to turn on the subtitles? Because I fought against it. I wanted to, but I was like, no. If they can't make it so I can hear it, then I don't need to know it. But what I did do is I turned up the volume a lot, and then I turned it back down once any action happened throughout the whole movie. And I know you struggle, Cody. You struggle with the mumbled lines.
There were just like 2 or 3 lines where I was like, I didn't catch that. But for the most part, I did find I had the volume up pretty high.
Here's the thing. I like Carl Urban,
So,
but the man doesn't open his mouth when he gives his lines ever in anything he's in.
Carl Urban?
He kind of talks at the side of his mouth like this.
Side
Mouths it with the back of his teeth. He's like, can I talk? Can I deliver this whole movie with my teeth not separating? And that's the thing that always gets me. All right. I don't hate him as an actor. I don't hate what he does. I'm like, Carl, why do you make me turn it up 10 points higher than I want it to be so that I can understand you? All right. Nothing Black Hat says is important to the story. All right. Let's be real. Here's what I don't like. And I would bet I feel like Black Hat was this movie suffers, I think, a little bit from being like, oh, everyone knows this comic series. They all know who Black Hat is. And I'm like,
it wasn't until you said Black Hat that I was like, oh, is that his nickname?
That's what he's credited as.
In my mind's eye, I referred to him as Carl Urban.
That's what he's credited as. So that's the only reason.
Carl Urban or Black Hat? What? But he had a name before he was Black Hat because he was just a priest. So what was his priest name?
Okay, what do you think Priest is billed as? Priest. That's his name, is Priest. What do you mean? Yeah. What about the other priests? There's a bold priest, there's strong priest, there's fast priest or something. I don't know. They're just different adjectives in front of priest. That's what they're billed as, Cody. All right. Here's the thing that bugged me. Why do most of their tattoos not go below their nose, except for Paul Bettany's, which goes down to the tip of his nose?
I don't know, man. There was a lacking of consistency with the. Oh my gosh, he's billed as priest, and Maggie Q is billed as priestess. What? The priest not have name?
No.
What? Also,
They
Cam
gave it up.
Giganet, his name. Guy who plays Hicks, he's also in Twilight, and he plays James. So he plays the vampire.
Cody, Tiffany already told me all that. You don't got to bring this up. All right, we don't need to talk about Twilight again. Maybe.
I didn't figure out who everyone in this movie played. I was like, really? This guy's in that? Like I said, they did a pretty good job casting this movie.
Oh yeah, I mean it's like I said.
They even left it open for a sequel. They were like, this is gonna go really well.
Yeah, and I mean it didn't go well as they'd hoped.
Scott Stewart. So the director also did. Tark's produced Dominion, Legion, Siren. I'm seeing a pattern here. Defiance, Priest. So Legion came out, then Priest came out. I think they have different Rotten Tomato scores, but their IMDb scores are like both in the 5s. So I don't know. I guess that's all he's done is, supernatural kind of stuff. Oh, let me see his bio.
Oh.
He's, shall I say, ethnic?
Sure. All right, I got one more point for this movie. All right, it's about Hicks.
Yeah,
All right, so Hicks here, he comes in, right? He's like, priest, I need your help. We're going to rescue the girl. Help me. And then it's just at every point, like you brought up a few points, but it's really at every point. Like he has the attitude of, like he's a dude who is allowed to be on this mission by priest, but he's really acting like priest is only there because he's letting him join him on this mission.
Yeah.
The priest is like
I told you about it, so this is my crew, but the crew is just him and priest, and he's obviously underqualified. And so I was like, no, this is a real, okay, all right, look, I've got a master's degree, basically. Let me explain it to you in business terms. You've got informal leaders and formal leaders. Now, right, so an informal leader is someone who just people gravitate to, or because of their skill or because of their whatever, they just become the leader, right? You have formal leaders who's like, I appointed you, you're the boss, you're the manager, you're whatever, right? So those are the two things. Now Hicks is neither the informal nor the formal leader, but he seems to think he is both. So what is going on in his brain that, because I'm not convinced he's a good sheriff either, like, because nobody seems to like him. Like, the familiars are like, this guy, and then the people in the town are like, you don't even help us or anything, and then the snake oil guy is like, I can't believe you chased me out of here. Is Lily Collins the only person who likes Hicks?
Because he's just a child, Cody. Okay, here's another thing, and this is more just westerns in general.
He's made zero friends in this.
Here's another thing I don't like. This is westerns in general. All right, so in the Old West, and in medieval movies too, they do the same thing. What would you gauge as the life expectancy in the Old West?
35,
yeah.
40.
Meanwhile, there will be like a 38-year-old man that walks in. They'll be like, what's this boy coming in here? This child, this infant. And it's like, this is a fully grown man who's the sheriff of your town and could kill
this
you
man
all.
Is,
like,
by your standards, middle-aged. The clock is ticking. He's over the hill.
Like, he's definitely dying of dysentery in days, okay? Like, and you guys are calling him a boy. Like, this boy. Like, what is this? We're not out here playing God of War. This is not Atreus. Like, he's not a child. Like, this is a man. What are you talking about?
Boy.
But then it's just his character. Okay, so he's a boy, even though he's a fully grown man who's the sheriff of a town. Nobody likes him, although he's the sheriff of the town. All right? And they don't even, like, do a thing where it's like, oh, well, his dad was the sheriff, so he inherited being the sheriff or something. Everybody's just like, this boy, says the guy who is very obviously the same age as the guy who plays Hicks, can't protect our town. What do we need? We need an 85-year-old man to protect the town. That's the only solution. And what do you want here? Do you want an old man that can't get out of his chair? But no. I'm not done here. I'm not done. No. I got more about Hicks. Okay. So not only that, but then there's a scene where he's like, I want to come. And then he's like, do you got the skills? And he cuts a bullet in half with his knife by throwing it. So it's like, oh, okay, he got skills. Maybe they're going to be like, oh, he could, if they were still making priests when he was a child, he would have been a priest. And then the rest of the movie, they're like, nope, he sucks. And Priest constantly has to save him. And it's like, so why?
And Priest even gives him a lesson. It's like, hey, here's how you do it. And then, like, at the very end, he's like, oh, you shot one. That was it.
It's like what they needed was this to be like a much longer time period where it's like weeks, where like Priest is training him. And then at the final battle, he's like on Priest level of skills.
Well, you could also like tamp down Priestess's part. Black Hat could be less heavy. They do a lot being like, all right, here's what Black Hat's up to. You could also cut that down and be like, hey, all right, there's a triangle in this movie. It's Priest, it's Lucy, and it's Hicks, And that's the focus. But instead it's like, anyway, Priestess and Priest, they have a thing going, but it's a yes or no, maybe it's not. Also, Black Hat, we got to see everything he's going through because there's going to be a big reveal at the end where we reveal the thing you already knew. So, we really got to focus. And here's my thing about the movie. It gives off 3 vibes because it starts out and it's like, hey, the vampires are here. Oh no, Carl Urban got took. Crazy. And then it's like, anime time. This is everything that happened. Like, okay, I think I get that. And then it's like, all right, it's an old-timey Western, but it's modern, but it isn't. And Lily Collins, she's doing too much. But hey, the vampires are here. Okay, so it's a vampire Western. Then it's like, all right, now Priest is in a steampunk city. You're like, okay, stop. We've done vampire, we've done Western, we've done anime, we've done steampunk. I need to know which one it is. You know? It was like 4 different intros where I was like, this could be a movie, this could be a movie, this could be a movie. You know, these could be 4 different movies, but they are the same movie. I feel like they needed to pick one or commit to one a little better, because it is, even though they give you the whole exposition dump, you're like, yeah, but this is full Western vibe now. You're like, okay, well, now we're full dirty steampunk city vibe. You know, like, I was getting pulled and yanked.
Yeah, I think like, so, okay. So let me rephrase the whole movie, okay? Because I think the movie at its core and the comic that it's based off at its core is a Western. All right, and here's my justification for it, okay? So I'm going to replace some stuff. And we might stray into, you know, like most Westerns, some racism. But I'm not racist, you're not racist, so we're all going to be grown-ups about this, all right? Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Priest,
So which slurs
no
are we allowed
slurs,
to use?
Cody.
We're just setting no.
Here's the line.
We should have one.
No,
We're not gonna have 0.
Here's the line. We're just gonna get right next to it, and then we're gonna go away from it. Okay, here we go.
All right. Gonna graze our butt against the line as we go by, and we're gonna.
All right, so let's replace the city with a bustling, you know, whatever past city. Okay. There's the priest.
Tombstone.
Sure. Tombstone's the L West, right?
Wichita.
So no,
I'm doing good.
The priest, he's there. He's haggard. He's at a mill
Waco.
or something, right? And he's doing his thing. And then they come in and he shows up, you know, and he's like, "I need your help. I'm the sheriff of who's it?" And he's a former cavalryman. He fought the Native Americans back in the day, and they got all the whoop. They did it. They boom. They nailed it. But whoop, they're back. Cody, like I said earlier, I said they're back, right? They want it all back. They're back.
Yeah.
And they've taken your niece, and I need your help. So we're gonna go hunt down the tribe of the Native Americans that have taken Sally, and we're gonna save her. And we're gonna stop a train. There's gonna be a little train heist. They've taken the train. The train's loaded up with nitroglycerin or whatever, right? They're gonna blow up Wichita. It's a Western. Now just replace it with vampires and steampunk for the future stuff. Right? There you go. It's that simple, okay? But I mean, at its core, it's a Western.
The only thing that would have made it better is if there was like an iPhone.
Yeah.
Like if like one person just like they just had tablets too. Like it's Western, it's steampunk. Also, we have tablets.
But it is like I think the vibe of it, if you stripped away everything, it's supposed to have the structure of a Western.
Well, everything outside of the city is like full Western. You know, we're like, okay, I get it. We're doing the Western thing, but throwing it in the city is like, oh.
Well, I mean, if you had a movie that cut between the Old West and New York City, you would have a movie that.
You're right.
So that's kind of, you know.
You'd be like, well, why is there brick and cobblestone everywhere? And people are, you know, there's factories with spewing out
so I think
fumes, you know.
So I think that's like the thing. So that helped Tiffany a lot to wrap her brain around everything. To say it's a Western, they're a posse.
I could see this being a good book. Like you said, there's some really interesting themes you could dive into, and you know, if you didn't just focus on the cool stuff, you're like, hey, there's some cool relationships happening. And if I had more time, you know, if I had time to see Priest and Hicks, and if I had time to know what was going on with Priest and Priestess more, and you know, if I had because. What kind of bugged me about the Black Hat thing is like it seemed like in the beginning it's like, oh, he lost Black Hat, that must have been like his best friend, like his closest companion. But when they show up, it seems like, oh, I kind of know, yeah, you know, we were in the war together. You know, it didn't seem like they were like friends, you know. So I was like, were they super close, or were they just we were both you know, like I was a little let down by that. I thought it would be a little more.
Yeah,
I don't know. I guess I would like to see if we were going to focus on Black Hat so much. I wish it was like, hey, let's have a flashback to, you know, aside from just seeing him be kidnapped, it's like, hey, were they real tight? Did they ever sit around a campfire and exchange, you know, their life stories? Or, you know, did he ever give him a token? You know, was it like, hey, you know, I want you to take my dad's knife and, you know, because we're brothers now, and, you know, whatever it was.
It really suffered.
It seemed like there's a lot missing where it's like, yeah, no, if this was like a whole series, I could see there being some real fruit here. you could get, but instead it was like 90 minutes in and out, and they tried to do too much
Yeah,
at once.
and they assumed that it's like some of the rules of this world, even though we didn't tell you, like the fact that human vampires don't exist. So it's a big thing that he's a human.
Right, because I was a little confused about the familiars. I was like, they look pretty vampy, but they weren't vampires. They were just familiars.
Yeah. Tiffany actually asked me.
But it was a little confusing at first. Like, so are they strong? No, they aren't strong. Okay.
When the vampires came out of the tombs, Tiffany was like, so wait, what were those guys they were fighting? Because she was like, those were the vampires, right? And I was like, no, those were the familiars.
Yeah, well, I even...
Oh, she never said they were vampires.
Like Carl Urban, I liked...
She knew what the vampires were. Then why were you asking me what the... She's right over here. What were they? What?
Oh, yeah.
She just didn't know what the familiars were. Because that one guy had pointy ears.
Yeah,
that
I don't know
kind of
if
threw it all off, I think.
Right.
Right?
Well, talking about the depth of it, I do think like Carl Urban even mentioned, like, hey, we were taught vampires don't have eyes, and eyes are the one of the souls, so they didn't have souls, so we got to write. You know, I like to like, oh, that's cool, that's the reason why, and I could see that being, you know, that ties into the church thing. I feel like the church thing was hit so hard in the beginning, where it's like, don't go against the church, you're going against God. But then like once we're out in the West, it's like, okay, we're not even thinking about the church, but Carl, you know, it's like not enough time for everything they were trying to do. I could see there being more to it and it being a good series or whatever, but you know, I don't think that's the movie we got.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think it works better as like a FX series. I just think it's cool.
Which they did. Well, no, that's
a Legion.
Priest got one with
Legion.
Dominion. Legion.
Okay,
whatever. It's the
I'll
same
confuse you
movie,
more.
dude.
There's a FX show called Legion that has nothing to do with the movie Legion, but they had the show Dominion.
Oh, I've seen that. Legion is. I've only seen the first season. So good.
But it's like an X-Men movie, right? That's
So it's like low key
dumb.
X-Men.
Cody, I hate it. I hate the show Legion because of that.
So good.
That's why I want you to know.
It's
not
so good.
It just stole the name of a better property.
It's fantastic.
That's what it did.
Stop. It's got that one guy, the guy who plays Beast and Beauty and the Beast, and it's got Aubrey Plaza in it.
Oh, like
It's got some of the coolest shots I've ever seen in a TV show. Like they go hard on like really awesome camera work and stuff.
Does anybody step on rocks that have been thrown up into the air?
No. Well, maybe not. Probably not. Almost definitely.
Not very good then, is it? Right?
That's true.
Tiffany agrees.
Well, if Tiffany says it. Man, is there anything? Did we miss anything on this one?
No,
It's time to put a
I think
bow
we
on
can
this
agree
guy.
on one thing, Cody. Hicks's character is kind of the worst.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, I think we agree on that.
Bailey was upset that they're like the whole thing was about him trying to get back his lover, and then they never even like kiss at the end. It's like, I'm very dirty. Give me a hug. You're like, "That's it?
He's
You get a
very
hug?
dirty,
That's all?"
dude. You want to kiss that
She didn't like
face?
that.
Did you see how much dirt?
She did. That's what she wanted to see. So
Did you want them to kiss Tiffany at the end?
kiss.
Oh, she said a little bit,
Remember that?
just a little bit, but not very much
See?
though. She didn't want it that bad. What would you give? Oh,
What I would want is a kiss, and then she has to be like,
yeah.
yeah, because she has too much dirt in her mouth. You know.
So what would you rate this movie, Cody?
You're not gonna be happy with me. You're gonna be really sad. I'm gonna break your heart right now, and I can't even. Here's what I'm doing. I'm gonna close my eyes so I can't see you. Give it a D plus. D plus for the special effects. That's what. It's
Oh, a
getting
B
from me.
plus. That's great, Cody. You know.
D.
Oh, you
plus.
saying B? I hear you. B
Stop.
plus. I think that's a little generous. I'd only give it a B. All right, but
Stop. You get
B.
to be a B.
it's a B.
Gosh.
I'm
B
just
movie.
glad that we were both all about that we both gave it a B at least. You know, I didn't expect you to like it more than me, but you know, Paul Bettany has that effect. You know, right? Right. So now, Cody, before we close it out, I have to click, clack into the machine.
You're gonna open up.
I'm doing the machine. Tiffany, do we even hit the button? You click, do the thing. Tiffany guest starring Do the thing. There's nothing.
Do the thing.
Okay, it's worse.
What is
It's
it?
the worst movie on the list, Cody. I'm sorry.
Oh,
It's
no.
in the name
What
of
is
the
it?
king.
I've never heard of that one.
It's okay, Cody. Let me tell you the full title. In the Name of the King, a dungeon siege tale. Like it was going to be a whole franchise.
So it's a Dungeons and Dragons
Oh
ripoff.
yeah, I thought you were going to say property. I was going to say no, ripoff. Yes, you're right. A ripoff.
Well, I mean, every time they've made a Dungeons and Dragons movie so far, they've just hit it out.
Now,
the
Cody,
park,
I got to be
so
clear with you. We're doing the first one,
what could go
not the one with Dolph Lundgren and not the one with Dominic Purser, which are the sequels. The first one.
You'll have to shoot me a little screenshot of that one. Wait, there's
Three
three
of
of
them.
these?
We're just doing the
Is it a series?
first one. All right. You know, the one Jason Statham,
Why
Burt
did we do
Reynolds, Ron Perlman, Ray Liotta. You know,
Oh my gosh, I've heard a podcast
it's
about
terrible.
this movie. Oh no. I've heard a podcast.
What was the
about this movie, like,
What was the
a long
podcast,
time ago.
Cody?
How did this get made? The podcast about
Yeah.
bad movies?
And now you'll be
right.
able to tell me how it got made.
Yikes. Tyler, here's the thing. How Did This Get Made is one of my favorite podcasts. I really enjoy it. And it's like it's one of the top podcasts. A lot of people listen to it. And I've listened to every episode.
Yeah.
Okay. And they come out with episodes every other week, and they've been doing it for years and years and years, right? So they have a couple hundred, maybe 200 or 300 episodes. Okay. Out of all those movies, of my own volition, I've seen like 4 to 6 of them, right? So it's like, hey, I don't watch a lot of these bad movies, but I've seen a few, right? Since knowing you and Bailey, I've seen about 10 to 15 more of them. And once again, it's a podcast that only does like really bad
Yeah.
movies. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you to you. Thank you to Bailey for just opening my worldview and giving me a chance to get caught up on these kind of films.
Cody, there's a lot of movies that I make you watch that are bad. I'm sorry about this next one. But I need you to know, much like when you've watched movies and you're like, I need to talk to somebody about this, just know that this is not a movie that I'm necessarily going to defend. It's one of those movies that's cool, but just a heads up, everybody, we're both going to be tearing this one apart. It's not standing up to scrutiny.
All right. Look, I'm going to open my mind and I'm going to give it the best go
I mean,
can.
it's no B, like we both agreed Priest is, but, you know, maybe you'll love it. Maybe you'll be like, man, Ray Liotta's performance in this movie is really transformative and just amazing. And I'll lose.
It does amaze me when like bad movies get a cast like that. We're like, these are all famous people. Like, it's not a cast where it's like, who are all these people? It's like, no, I know. Like this movie, it's like 2 of these people were in Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Christopher Plummer's been nominated for Oscars. Like, we're dealing with like high caliber, you know.
Well,
actors.
they all did a great job. It's more just the, caliber of the story.
But that's what I'm saying. How do you sign up the man from Goodfellas, right? Like Ray Liotta was in Goodfellas, arguably one of the greatest mob movies of all time, one of Martin Scorsese's best, and then he was in this.
Yeah.
You know, what tipped the scales for him? What made him decide, you know what? I need to continue my legacy. I already proved I can do a mob movie. This is definitely the one to break me into Dungeon Siege properties.
I'm going to guess a cocaine habit.
Ah, yes. The old nose boat. That ride that takes you places you never thought you would go. All right. Well, thank you for listening. You can rate us, share us, wherever podcasts are found. You can also harass us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. At Opinion Havers. Until next time,
And have
watch
opinions.
movies.
Tiffany, what would you rate the movie if you had to give it a letter grade? An A? You give Priest an A? Well, there you have it. Don't look disappointed.
Don't let it get to your head.
You gave it a B plus.
Don't let it go. Stop.
I think especially because